What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at The Great Outdoors, starring Dan Aykroyd and John Candy. Let's waste no time. Let's talk about it. The Great Outdoors is one of those comedies that it may not be a comedy movie that you're going to remember for decades to come, but it is a comedy movie that when you watch it, you're going to get a lot of mileage out of it, and you're going to get a lot of entertainment out of it. Now, is this a perfect comedy by any stretch of the imagination? Absolutely not. But does this movie work and get the job done? I think so, and a lot of that has to go due, and a lot of that is due to the comedic duo of John Candy and Dan Aykroyd, two veterans of comedy. What can you say about Dan Aykroyd and John Candy that has not been said just for their individual careers? These two are masters of comedy, and this movie puts them together. I thought they were great. I love the performances of John Candy and Dan Aykroyd in this movie. To me, they just boast so much fun, and they fit the roles of their respective characters perfectly. Dan Aykroyd plays this self-absorbed, almost Wall Street type of guy named Roman, who was the brother-in-law of John Candy's character Chet, who was more or less like this hard-working middle-class American guy. So now, Roman kind of spoils Chet's vacation by making an unannounced appearance at the cabin that Chet and his family are staying in, and now they're forced to spend their vacation together. And that's where a lot of the comedy comes from. It's just the difference of personalities and the budding of opinions between the characters of Roman and Chet. And like I said, you got Aykroyd and Candy, who are just two very charismatic actors with great comedic timing, bringing these characters to life, and their on-screen chemistry, to me, it shows in this movie immensely, and it's actually the biggest highlight of The Great Outdoors. This movie is basically a starring vehicle for Candy and Aykroyd as a comedic duo. Like I said, The Great Outdoors is not one of those movies that you're going to remember for years to come, but it is one of those movies that you're going to have a lot of fun watching because you have veterans like Dan Aykroyd and John Candy. You also have, for the most part, a very solid and decent supporting cast as well. I thought every single actor underneath Dan Aykroyd and John Candy played their roles immensely, and you get some nice cameos from actors like Louis Arquette and Robert Prosky to fill out the field. Uh, Now, does the Great Outdoors have some memorable moments at least? Absolutely, I think it does. Uh, the whole third act of this movie is freaking hysterical when Chet and Roman have to kind of ward off this bald-headed killer bear, which was actually set up earlier in the movie when Chet was telling it as a ghost story. That whole third act is hilarious, where they have to save Roman's kids, and then that leads into the bald-headed killer bear attacking the cabin. That whole third act is hilarious, and the ending sequence during the credits where they're all dancing to "Land of a Thousand Dances," that's really fun as well. But you also have some nice moments peppered in all throughout there. Like you have this really funny bit where Chet has to finish this obnoxiously big steak, and you get some good mileage out of that. Just the bantering alone between Chet and Roman is really where this movie shines. Candy and Aykroyd know how to take dialogue that may not be interesting, but they know how to get a lot of mileage out of it, and their delivery is where the comedy comes from. And I can't praise Aykroyd and John Candy enough for that. They really hold this movie together. Um, Now, this movie also has some things that I'm not too crazy about. Yeah, there's this whole romantic subplot between Chet's son Bucky and this local girl named Cammy. This whole love thing is literally told within a matter of 2 days. They meet day one, they get together in day two, they break up in day three, and they part ways on day four. It is just really, it's filler, to be honest with you. And I am not invested. You're pretty much cramming an entire romantic comedy within a matter of 10 minutes of screen time. Not necessary, didn't really need it. It's the weakest part of the movie. I would have taken those scenes out, to be honest with you, or I would have just had Bucky and Cammy already as an item, and Cammy just vacationing with Bucky's family. I think that would have been so much better as opposed to what they did, trying to do this forced teen romance that doesn't work for me, and it feels really out of place in this movie. Not only that, the romance to me is not believable because it all happens within a matter of 4 days. So yeah, that whole subplot didn't really mean anything to me. And there's this other thing with a bunch of raccoons who are attacking the garbage outside the cabin. The movie tries to make it funny by having these raccoons be almost like self-aware by giving them like little bubbles where they shout dialogue. I did not really get a whole lot of chuckles out of that. To be honest with you, didn't really find all that funny. But the rest of the movie I found to be really, really entertaining and very, very enjoyable. And I also do like how Roman gets a chance to be a more well-rounded character by not being as pompous or as arrogant when he and Chet kind of start to form a close bond after after Roman's daughters disappear. I like all that stuff, and I also like how Chet does not care for Roman at the beginning of the movie, and like I said, how it all comes around. I thought that stuff was very enjoyable for the most part. So yeah, I think The Great Outdoors is just a very entertaining movie. We don't get comedies like these anymore, where it's just fun, and where you have charismatic comedic actors that can carry a movie that's really under the surface nothing all that special, but because of who's in this movie, I like it a lot. And with all that being said, I'm going to give The Great Outdoors I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. It ain't the greatest comedy ever made, but it's really held together by John Candy and Dan Aykroyd, who make this movie more than what it really is. Without Candy and Aykroyd, I think it's just a subpar comedy. But with Candy and Aykroyd, to me, it's just that much extra. So yeah, those are my thoughts on The Great Outdoors. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.